Hi everyone, my name is Tulen Varel and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 reasons why you should not think for yourself. Because nowadays, we don't question why we do the things that we do. And we don't realize that as soon as we're born, we're literally born under the government, into a system, into a society where we are in duty slash service for them. And we don't ever question that. And we don't ever want to question that. We don't ever want to think outside the box. You don't want to think for yourself because this is just the way that it is, right? This is the way that things are and things aren't going to change. So here's 10 reasons why you should not think for yourself. So the first one being is because if you start thinking for yourself, it will separate you from others. And once you do that, people are going to criticize you, people are going to gossip about you, they're going to question you, and you don't want to be the odd one out because people don't like change. People like familiarity, they like routine, and everybody needs some sort of familiarity and routine in their everyday life. Even I'm scared of change. But when it goes against the essence of your soul, then that is when, things become dangerous to our emotional home that we live in every single day, which we have to live in for the rest of our life. So if you're happy with just being where you are with the crowd that you're in, and you're happy with just going to a job every day that you're probably not happy going to, you're happy with just living 2 days per week, you're happy with paying high taxes while you're being employed, you're saving for retirement, for that shiny pension, that shiny pot of treasure at the end of the rainbow, which we all know doesn't exist. And you're happy knowing that, you just have to survive every day and there's not another way out there for you, and that life can be anything that you want it to be, and that you can actually create the life that you want. So don't think for yourself if you're happy with just following the crowd and saying, this is the way it's always been. This is just the way that it is. And it kind of just blows my mind that, this kind of system even exists. And then what even blows my mind even more is that, we don't really question the system, and we don't question why it is the way that we do things. And what blows my mind even more is that, we don't do anything about it. And I don't mean to literally change the system itself, but to change ourselves first. And, by changing it inwardly, we can change it outwardly. And I believe, there is an awakening going on, and people are realizing, people are waking up, and people are quitting their jobs. They're following their passion. They're following what lights them up inside. But if you're not one of those, and you don't want to think that there's something better out there, and you're happy with just following others, following their advice, then just stay where you are. That is perfectly fine. The second reason why you should not think for yourself is if you're content with just this regular 9-to-5 working lifestyle. And for some, that is okay. You kind of do your job and you leave, and you don't really question that. But realizing, suddenly the job that you once dreamed of, that you studied years for, only to wake up and think, this isn't for me. Like, it doesn't fulfill me. This is not what I imagined. I dread going to work. It drains me emotionally, it drains me physically, it drains my bank. And if you kind of think this is the only way to be successful, then don't start thinking for yourself, because there is a better way out there, and you can actually create that for yourself. The third reason why you should not think for yourself is if you don't want to learn, you don't want to grow, you don't want to evolve as a person, as a being, and you're happy with just your current way of thinking and living. That is sufficient during your whole life existence, and you don't want to evolve into someone better every single day, and you don't want to reach your highest potential. You don't want to self-actualize. You don't want to learn new skills, new knowledge, new wisdom. You are happy with just your current way of thinking. You're happy just living on surface level, and you don't believe that there's anything more to you and to life than what there currently is. And one thing I've realized is the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know anything. And once I reach that point where I think, oh, I've got life figured out, that's it, I've got it, then that is when I start to feel stuck again, and I feel unhappy, because that is when I stop learning, and that is when I stop growing. So if you think you have life figured out, then do not think for yourself. Now, the fourth one is the reason that you should not think for yourself is that you don't want true freedom in your life, financially, geographically, and time. You're happy with just staying in one place. And I know for some people that staying in one place, that's absolutely fine. But I know for a lot of other people, they want to be free, and living one paycheck to paycheck and one paycheck away from poverty, if that scares you, then you have to start thinking for yourself, because what your old way of thinking has obviously got you to where you are, and it hasn't served you. So there has to be this kind of awareness to think, okay, something has to change. So the quality of your life is the quality of your choices, of your decisions, your thought patterns, your behavior. So changing how you think will change everything for you. If you want to have more financial freedom and more time, and you want to live wherever you want to, then it all starts with changing how you think and feel about yourself. And all breakdowns lead to a breakthrough, and a breakthrough happens when you change your emotional state. If you think about the last time you woke up and you thought, that's it, I'm done with X, Y, and Z, and the reason that nothing probably changed outside of your life, but internally something changed, and that was your inner dialogue. It was how your posture, it was your physical and emotional state, basically. So do not think for yourself if you are happy with your money, your time, and your location. Sorry, I had to put on some lighting because the sun went down and it was getting pretty dark. So as we were before. The fifth reason why you should not think for yourself is if you believe that this is all there is to life. You don't believe that there's more to this 3D reality. There's more than meets the eye, and you don't believe that we're all connected on a conscious level, that we're multi-dimensional beings, and that we can only see and hear 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum, and you don't believe that we have layers, that life has layers. There's realms, there's dimensions, there's, people can have intense spiritual transformations, people have near-death experiences, there's energy all around us. Everything is made of energy. And don't think for yourself if you believe that this is all there is in terms of what you see, like just that there is only material around you. And I don't know if you've ever ask yourself, who is observing my thoughts? And realizing that, this higher self that we have is the ultimate soul navigator that you should always listen to, that we have a gut feeling, we have intuition, we have this inner knowing about things, and we just can't explain. And so don't think for yourself, if you don't believe any of this, that there's more than meets the eye. Now, the 6th reason why you should not think for yourself is you're happy with the toxic, negative, and energy draining people in your life that just don't serve you to your highest potential. You're okay with people being negative and offloading their problems all the time. There's drama, there's gossip, and you're glad to just even leave that social gathering. You should be around people who uplift you, and that once you leave, you feel uplifted and energized, and not the complete opposite. And people who honestly care and worry for you, and that you all want to help each other grow and evolve to your maximum potential. Now, the 7th reason you should not think for yourself is that you're okay with your environment just as it is, and realizing that once you change your environment, everything changes. And I know some people just can't change this overnight, but maybe realize for how long can this go on for before I just have enough. Like, it could be the road that you live in, you don't feel safe, you feel fearful, or it could be the weather. I live in England, the weather isn't great, and I really suffer when I don't see enough sunlight. And you just have to ask yourself, how long can I go on for this? How long can I go on like this before it's too late. So the 8th reason why you should not think for yourself is if you don't want to give up this processed, toxic, junk, man-slaughtered food that you're eating every day. And I'm not forcing any opinions or views about veganism or anything, but we don't really question what it is that we eat. How is it made? How did it get here? And I'm not perfect, and there's so many things that I eat that are probably not sustainable, but I do the best that I can. And once I questioned what I was eating, then that was when everything opened for me, because I was like, okay, well, I've started questioning what I was eating, what else is there, and it opens you up to a whole new world that you didn't even know that existed. And realize that you can do things that benefit the environment, and even cutting 5 meals a week that have meat in or dairy, that can just drastically improve the environment. Like, we all know where the world is going if we continue the way that we're eating. And I know it's different if we're in survival mode. If we're living in a forest, we're living in an indigenous forest, I get that, but we're not. We go around the corner to a shop, we buy a chicken sandwich, we eat things that we don't need to eat, and we do it out of pleasure. And for the sake of that pleasure, we're ruining, we're destroying the planet slowly, and we don't realize it's happening. We don't see all of the nasty stuff. We only see the end product, the end pretty product that's grass-fed, and you just have to really ask, what is it that I'm eating? Where does it come from? Do these animals have to actually be killed just so I can enjoy this 5-minute meal? And it will open your eyes. So basically, you are what you consume, and you have to realize that sometimes, like, the animals that were killed were when an animal dies, it releases cortisol, stress hormone, and then you're eating it and everything's energy. And it's just, if we're all consciously connected, then every species deserves to live. So I'm not going to go into there because I will just go on and it's just going to irritate me. So the 9th reason why you should not think for yourself is you don't want to step into your own power. You're happy giving away your power to others. You're happy with just making the choices that you're making. You're not taking responsibility of your life. At one point, we realize, okay, we're adults. No one's telling me what to do, and we have to take that responsibility in our life. And everything is how we respond to it. We have the ability to respond to situations. Like if someone says something horrible to work, how do you respond? And for that split second, you could probably get annoyed, you could probably swear, and and after that, you have to just switch. You have to turn everything negative into a positive. And you have to realize that you have the power. You can create the life that you want, and you can set healthy boundaries. You can go after the life that you want, and don't be scared to just stand out and walk a different path than everybody else. Like, realize that you can create the life that you want by changing your thoughts and behavior, that you are not your past. If you listen to Joe Dispenza's podcast, I can't remember what it's called, but it was just so amazing. And he was saying how, if we don't create a future, if we don't turn our heads to a new future with better decisions, lifestyle choices, and better thoughts and behaviors, then we're tied to a past, and that's all we know. So we have to program our subconscious brain to redirect our focus and create neurological pathways. Otherwise, we're just tied to what we know, and that what we know could be our experiences as a child, where someone might have bullied you at school, someone might have said a comment, and that has created an identity, and now you say, well, that's just the way that I am. But realize, when you're a kid, no one knew what they were doing. Like, everybody was immature. No, it was just immature behavior. Everybody was figuring things out. Kids were trying to survive school. It's not who you are. That one comment can't determine who you are for the rest of your life. You can change who you are. If you think that you're shy, you're probably really confident. If you think that you're a bad public speaker, you're probably not. You're probably going to be like the best motivational public speaker in the world. You probably think you're a bad writer, but you're probably just basing that off that one bad experience, that one encounter that you had with someone, and then you thought about it one night, then you kept thinking about it for a week, for a month, and then it just became who you are. That is how identities are formed. So you have to break the legs of that experience you had, and then create the new pillars for a new experience. And that comes with just restacking and relearning and turning. And for me, for example, I started changing my self-talk when over time, and I would change my negative into a positive. And then before I knew it, I just realized, like, one day I was like, oh, like, I actually think more in an empowered way. Like, if someone tells me something, I don't take it for what it is and think negatively about it. I just change the situation, how I see it, or I respond to it differently by the way that I talk to myself. So don't think for yourself if you don't want to step into your power, and realize that you had the power all along. You just had to step into it. And the 10th reason why you shouldn't think for yourself is if you don't want to heal as a person. We all have layers. We've all had experiences in our life, in our past, and there's things that have been built and buried and we don't even realize that they're there. Sometimes we have to do the shadow work, and we can find a lot about ourselves through shadow work. And shadow work is basically unraveling the parts of ourselves that we've neglected, and realize that we have these subconscious habits and things that we didn't even realize that we were doing. Like, they just become automatic. And first, just becoming aware of it, and then gradually over time you can heal yourself. And sometimes all of it is just acknowledging it, and then over time you just change it into a negative, from a negative into a positive. So don't let these behavioral and thought patterns hold you back and keep you victim. You know, you are your own prisoner that you keep yourself in, and that you actually have the key, and you can just unlock it and let yourself free. So I hope you do think for yourself, and that you don't hold yourself back, and you become the best person that you are allowed to be and that you are worthy of becoming. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give it a like or a comment if it has resonated with you, and hopefully see you in my next video. Inwards and outwards. Thank you.